Welcome back to the Sound for More channel and welcome back to another tutorial on Loopy Pro. Today I'm going to show you how you can do MIDI recording towards a MIDI clip inside AUM. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Additionally, if you like to support what I do, please check the instruction and in each video description, which will tell you how to go about it. Okay, so we are inside AUM and I will do a similar video also for Loopy Pro standalone. But let's create first of all a MIDI channel. And this should answer also some of the questions that I received from some subscribers or viewers on my channel about how to use Loopy Pro as a MIDI processor. So this is a MIDI channel. We click on the plus sign there and we search for Loopy Pro and there it is. So in this case, we have Loopy Pro as a MIDI processor inside a MIDI channel. We need an audio channel to produce some sound, right? So we created an audio channel and then let's search for an instrument. You decide. In this case, I'm picking up the first one I have there, which is el piano. Now, I want to connect it to Loopy Pro, so I click here on the left-hand side and I connect it to Loopy Pro so that the MIDI messages coming out from Loopy Pro will reach el piano. Now, I click where it says here, none, and therefore now it will not receive from any channel. And then I select only the first one, so that means only the first MIDI channel is active. Okay. So let's go inside the Loopy Pro. Let's start working on it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click here and select MIDI loop. By the way, I'm on the clip view, as you can see. Then I'm going to click on the edit button here and remove the first two rows like so. Okay, and then exit the designer or edit mode. And there it is. Okay, so next, we are going to click here on the mixer, really lovely mixer. We need to have a way to record MIDI inside this clip. So it needs to receive MIDI from a MIDI source. So where it says sources here, we click on the plus sign and we select MIDI input. Okay, so in this case, it will accept MIDI events, MIDI signals like notes coming from the MIDI input. Okay. We also need the destination as a MIDI output so that it can send notes. So here where it says destination on this channel here, we click on the plus sign and we select MIDI out for MIDI output. We also configure it, so we click on it again. And here where it says destination MIDI channel, we select channel number 1 so that it will send only notes and MIDI events only on that channel, MIDI channel number 1. As you can see, when I link the MIDI source here to this purple channel or clip, it has created a MIDI channel here, which has a destination here, as you can see, of the purple color. And that is why it accepts MIDI input, send it to the purple color, okay, and then it goes inside this clip, okay? And then from there, it will go out through this MIDI output connection as a destination. So hopefully that makes sense. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm click and swipe up on the clip, okay? And I'm going to scroll down until it says recording settings, and I'm going to edit override. So I'm going to change the standard settings for recording. I'm going to scroll down until I can find threshold recording, and I enable that, which means that when it is armed, Loopy Pro will wait for an incoming MIDI signal before starting recording. Okay, so next we close this. We need now a MIDI generator to create notes that we're going to send into Loopy Pro to show you how to record those MIDI events and MIDI notes inside the Loopy Pro. So double click underneath here, so click on the plus sign, and again you can choose your favorite one. In this case, I'm going to choose chord jump. I'm going to connect the two like so. So we select chord jump. It doesn't matter the MIDI channel because we are just going into Loopy Pro. Okay, we expand the chord jump, we'll maximize it, and we'll go next to a basic progression. And then we press play. Now, if I close Chord Jam and I go inside the Loopy Pro, if I press play again, you see there is nothing really moving, and that is because Loopy Pro is not connected to the host. So we click here on the hamburger menu, we select synchronization, then we enable host syncs. Now, if I do the same, you can see it's stopping and playing inside the Loopy Pro. You can see also the tempo has been adjusted to 120 as per host tempo. Now, one thing that you would probably do is to check how long this phrase is. So you go back at the beginning, you notice, for example, you can derive it here in terms of number of measure, or you can look up here, top here, to see how long that phrase, those codes are, or those code progression. So effectively 2 bars, right? So we go back to Loopy Pro, we click where it says 120, and we select to record or to be that 2 bars as number of bumps that I'm going to record for. Okay, so back to the beginning here on the transport control for AUM, click here, it says waiting for threshold to be reached, and then it will start to record. So let's press the play. Okay, as you can see, it stopped recording now, and if I swipe up, and you can see now there is some notes, some event, click here on the edit button, maximize the view, double click here to centralize. Okay, now what you can see is that is not synchronized with the start, and that sometimes happens with latencies in Midi. So I suggest you click here, double click there, select all, right, and then move to the left to synchronize properly. That sometimes happens, that sometimes doesn't happen. Okay, that really much depending on latency and how busy your iPad is, etc., etc. So play. Now you hear double sound. That is because if you expand the mixer view here, on Midi in as a source is still sent through to the destination, the incoming Midi. So disable that Midi in at the moment, and now you'll have only this clip playing. So effectively what was happening is when the Midi input was still on, you had the Midi notes still coming from Chord Jam, going through Loopy Pro, and then automatically being redirected through that purple clip to El Piano. And therefore, depending on the positions of Chord Jam, and when you started to play the clip inside Loopy Pro, you had double playing practically. So disabling that Midi input, so Loopy Pro will not receive any more Midi events directed to that purple clip, which then is sending Midi events out to El Piano. And now you have perfectly achieved a clip with Midi events, right? Perfectly recorded, which you can play yourself as you need. Now you can notice also now that is cleaner as a look. That sometimes happens. I think there's still some glitches inside the Loopy Pro, but the notes are actually cleaner in terms of representation. That sometimes happens. Now, the beauty, of course, of Midi clip and not just having only audio clips is that, of course, you can enable, disable as you do for audio clip, but then they will send the MIDI events to an audio instant, or like in this case, or an instrument, which can also be, by the way, hardware instrument outside your iOS device, and therefore you can control starting and stopping, and you can do a lot of other different things without having to record in the audio output first inside Loopy Pro. And just to show you even further, you could, for example, create another audio channel, I don't know, search for J6, like this one, great synth, and you could connect it to Loopy Pro again. This is why I chose a different channel. In this case, you will have to set it to receive only on channel number 2, right? We would probably set a base for this, so click on here, categories, base, maybe this one, doesn't have to be this one, but it's just one example, of course, and then of course you can also adjust different things here. And then, for example, what you could do is go in edit mode here, click and hold the clip, select copy, click here outside, select paste. Okay, then exit the designer edit mode, disable that clip from playing, swipe up this clip here, edit to go inside the piano roll, and maximize these, then center it. Okay, then go and select the enable the selecting tool, then click and hold here, drag, for example, all those notes there, and then select delete, and we have only the bass, which now we can send towards J6, right? But before we do that, let's go to designer mode again. I like to give it a different color, is neater, so I click on here, is blue because it's selected blue here. Come out from the design mode or edit mode, go back to the maximize it, and then add ER and Midi output as a destination for these channel light blue color. Select Midi output and send only on channel number 2, so that in this case only that bass preset inside J6 will actually play. If we have done that connection, which we have done, it should actually work. So let's try play and then activate this. And that is what I really like. Then you can introduce, for example, the other clip here with the chords. And of course you can start and stop. You have count in, count out, which is really, really good. And again, the beauty of using MIDI instead of audio, I could go here, for example, and click on the plus sign, and for example search for a delay to add to that. I probably don't need to do this because I can select the delay as an effect inside the piano, but just as an example, and then I can play directly, right? And of course, now that you have this done, you could go here and click save, right? And you could save the project. In this case, it's called Abrupt Honey. Okay, it's the full name. You could have changed it. Click here on the edit button. Now you can add, for example, like so, an audio loop, right? Swipe up, import here, and go to the document library, go to these audio file folders, and then search, for example, for a MIDI, drum loop. So let's see if we can quickly find one. There it is, and then click open, and then we can import it and select import, and we have it there. But if I click play, it will not play because at the moment Loopy Pro is working as a MIDI processor, right? So you don't have an output. So at this point, what you would do, you would save, right? Then probably you close these, get rid of these MIDI channels. So remove channel, tap to confirm, of course, create another audio channel, bring in Loopy Pro here. Okay, for Loopy Pro, there it is. Let's load it, of course, then let's connect it like so, only on channel number 1. The same here for J6, connect it to Loopy Pro. And then you go inside the Loopy Pro here, maximize it, go to your folder, and then to project, and then open that up. And now what you will find, let's check the synchronization is active as per project settings, which I saved. Now let's click play, and let's introduce one by one 2 MIDI loops, but also we have a drum loop, which is audio. So you can mix MIDI and audio all together, which is great. and so on and so forth. So it is really great. Let me now show you an example which I previously recorded. There it is. So I still used El Piano here for chords. I have an effect here. I have AUM for a bass. And then what I've done here, I have still a drum loop, but I have recorded also as an audio a synth part, so I can use that as well. And then I have a synth master here, which I can connect to my Nano MIDI controller and play. So, and I can bring them in all one by one. So. So as you can see, you can bring in MIDI clips to play whenever you want, and they will be all sync into time. And because they have a count in setting, they will start to play exactly at the start of the measure. And at the same time, you can bring in, like in this case, a drum loops, which is great. While you could keep playing here a live synth master one, a nice black, and then when you're ready for a break, you can stop playing live and enable this clip. It will play the solo and so on and so forth. Then you can deactivate each clip or deactivate them as you please. So that is the power of having MIDI clips and also audio clip at the same time. And of course, at the moment, for purposes of the tutorial, the example was done using MIDI instrument as a UV3 inside AUM, but you can do this also in standalone Loopy Pro. You can also drive external instruments instead of having a software instrument, or a combination of both, right? So, which is really powerful for live performances. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and as always, see you next time. Bye.